Do you think the JLP administration should stop pulling money from the NHT? $11 billion is a lot of money, and it sounds like it could weaken the housing trust, and in the long run, prevent contributors from getting much-needed lands or homes.
Mark Golden says it's ridiculous that the government continues taking billions of dollars annually out of the NHT when so many Jamaicans remain unable to afford a home.
They passed amendments to the NHT Act twice to allow them to do that. So you can imagine how disappointing it is when they table the revenue measures that they plan to extend that for a further 5 years. Now I have to ask you, doesn't Jamaica have a critical problem with affordable housing? Aren't Jamaican people, especially young people, struggling to find a way of acquiring their own home? The NHT is the vehicle that should be doing that. But when you keep taking the money out of it in such large amounts, can't fulfill that mandate, and it's not fulfilling that mandate. And that is why in the PNP's manifesto in the last general elections, we committed to stopping that.
But what if what sounds like reckless behavior should not be viewed with fear? Here's the problem. Most people shouting "raid" are acting on emotions because many can't explain how the NHT even makes money. So before you decide this is abuse, you need to understand this. Let's start with the NHT itself. Every month, a small percentage of your pay, your contributions, is deducted and put into this system. Those contributions don't just sit in a vault. They get used for loans, houses, lands, and investments. Stay with me here, because what I'm about to say is key. It's very important. The NHT collects more than it spends. Millions in contributions are received, but only some borrow. And those who borrow, some build their own home, some buy. The rest, the money quietly grows. The NHT doesn't just sit on the money, it invests. Interest grows. Loan repayments flow back in. Whenever there's economic growth, the following happens. More jobs, lower unemployment, higher wages. Here's what's not talked about. Every new job equals new contributors for the NHT. Every higher paycheck equals bigger deductions. All of this flows straight into the NHT. Income tax threshold impact. The government will be raising the income tax threshold. What that means is that workers will keep more of their earnings. They still pay NHT contributions, but now they also have more cash to spend. Here are the benefits. More disposable income equals more money moving through the economy, equals stronger NHT.
The government is setting aside $30 billion within its contingency allocation for additional projects. This forms part of a broader $35 billion set aside for public investment. The estimates of expenditure for 2026-2027 outlines this spending as budgetary support to new public investment projects approved for implementation during the fiscal year. This includes projects related to Hurricane Melissa reconstruction and restoration. This expenditure is already programmed to continue over the next 3 fiscal years to 2029-2030. On the recurrent side, the government has also set aside $42 billion to cover the current public sector wage negotiations. Under this heading, spending has been allocated to meet new rates and retroactive salary and allowance adjustments that may result from public sector wage settlements during the fiscal year. Finance Minister Favour Williams told the House of Representatives last Thursday the government remains committed to the wage offer currently on the table.
We know that we are in the wage negotiation cycle with our public sector workers. We take that quite seriously, coming on the heels of the major wage restructuring. Today, Madam Speaker, this government is indicating that despite the massive disruption of Melissa, totaling US $8.8 billion, or 41% of our GDP, and the debt we must take on to rebuild, reconstruct, and build in resilience in our infrastructure as a government, despite all of that, Madam Speaker, we remain committed to the wage offer that this government has put forward to our public sector workers.
Why $11 billion isn't a drain? When the government transfers $11 billion from the NHT to the budget, it's not draining the system. It's tapping into a strong, growing surplus, in this case, a surplus of $14 billion. This money will help to fund projects, create jobs, which goes right back into the NHT through increased contributions. So in the end, the NHT can actually grow stronger from this transfer. Let's break it down. NHT collects contributions from millions of Jamaicans. The government uses a portion, $11 billion, for strategic projects, roads, housing, construction. Projects hire workers, pay salaries, and pay contractors. Those workers now contribute back to the NHT automatically through payroll. Loan repayments from past beneficiaries continue. Investments earn interest. Result? Money goes out, but more flows back in. Opposition view versus reality. The opposition says it's a raid, but they're focusing on one number, $11 billion leaving the NHT account. Here's what they fail to tell you. NHT collections have increased thanks to lower unemployment, higher wages, economic growth. Loan repayments keep coming in. Investments generate interest. The NHT is not depleted, it's reinforced. Benefits for contributors long-term. More housing availability, support for the construction industry. More jobs equals more contributors equals stronger system. No new taxes to fund projects. It's your money working for you, not disappearing. Debunking myths. Myth, $11 billion pulled equals money lost forever. Fact, money cycles back into the economy. NHT grows. Myth, giving money directly to contributors would be better. Fact, most would spend it quickly with no long-term growth for housing or construction. So is the $11 billion transfer wrecking the NHT? No. Is it controversial? Absolutely. But understanding the full flow, the economics, and the policy context tells a different story. The NHT isn't just a number on a balance sheet. It's a system that grows with the economy, your contributions, and strategic spending. So while some people might cry raid, the strategic thinker understands the long-term benefits. If you made it all the way to the end, congratulations. It means you found value, and more importantly, it created a different kind of thinking. So remember, to subscribe is free. So hit the button and the notification bell to enjoy more content like this.